Hi, it's John here from GPS Training. Welcome to the latest walk and talk. I'm joined by my dear wife today, who's also from GPS Training, and we're going for a walk around wonderful Holy Island of Lindisfarne. And what GPS units or product are we with today? We're going with the new Motorola Defy satellite link. It's actually been out with us for 2 weeks now. I've done a walk and talk pre-launch, and this is actually going out. We've been using it for a couple of weeks. I'm going to go out and go for a walk around Holy Island and see how it performs and show you some of the features and discuss some of the features available. We're dodging the rain a little bit today, Jane, aren't we?
Yeah, and a bit of thunder and lightning around as well, so fingers crossed we don't get caught in that as well.
And the tide has come in, so we've crossed the causeway, and people don't know it's a tidal island, so the sea is now in, so we can't get off the island until 5 to 5 this evening, which is brilliant. Hopefully all the tourists will go away and we're left to the island ourselves, just to say that car is passing us behind, but anyway, that's the way it is. So we're going to go for a short walk, exploring the Holy Island of Lindisfarne, and we'll talk in depth about the new Motorola Defy satellite link. So the Motorola Defy is, or we thought it was, too good to be true. We actually went down to the Peak District, you can see my other video, and met with the guys from Bullitt who put this together, because for £159, and this is the key thing, we get a two-way satellite communicator with 1 year contract. So that contract can be used in various ways. So it's really £60 for the contract, £100 for the device. And the way I've set it up is I've got 250 messages to use over the year. I can use as and when I want them. There's other options available as well to use that £60 credit towards. But it is, compared to its competitors, it's absolutely stunning price-wise. When you think of equivalent Garmin, a contract alone for a year, it's cost you £200, then you've got to buy the two-way satellite communicator as well. So actually getting this device with a 1 year contract for £169.99 is just, it's mind-blowing. And that's why we've been selling as many as what we have. We've literally been ordering them in back boxes of 50, and they've been selling that quickly. And to date, the feedback has been very, very good. So first of all, let's just look at the device. It's just 70 grams in weight, so it's not very big at all. And the dimensions are 70 millimeters by 50 millimeters, and it's just 11 millimeters thick. There's actually just 3 buttons on the device: on/off button at the top, a check-in button, and of course the SOS button. Don't worry, you have to hold the SOS button down for 5 seconds to activate it. And then you've also got a USB-C charger port there, which you can plug in. It's got this little bung across the top of it. It's actually a waterproof USB-C connector. I know a few people online are saying, oh, this is not very watertight. This doesn't need to be watertight. It's just to stop sand and muck going in it there. It comes with this cord on the top and the clip. Sadly, no carabiner on it. I put a Garmin carabiner on it to carry it. I think that's the only thing that I think was missing within the box. And again, that's it really when you're looking at it. Check-in button, you can send check-in messages, which you can set up on the app. Majority of the time you'll be using this device via an app. So it's the two-way satellite communication. You have the Bullitt app on your mobile phone. You can send and receive messages on there, just like a WhatsApp experience, which we'll look at a little bit later. But you can use this as a standalone device. So if your mobile phone goes battery, you can still press the SOS button, you can still do check-ins, etc, etc. Now the key thing is when you do SOS button on the app, you go through some triage questions. It asks you a number of questions. Now if you've not got the app and you just press the SOS button on here, we actually asked Bullitt what would happen, and they're saying they would look at your medical conditions, where you are, the location, and they would assess that accordingly and send out whichever rescue services would be required. So overall, really nice device. Let's see a little light flashing. This shows it's logged onto the satellite. We can also see that on the app as well, and that's the only light that's actually flashing at this moment in time. The key thing about the Motorola Defy satellite link that makes it different than the other products on the market is it's always logged on to the satellites. Traditionally with a Garmin inReach or a Zoleo product, what those products do is when you go and send and receive a message, they actually log on to the satellite, they look for the satellites. They use what's called the Iridium system, which is the low orbit, and you see those passing, or they pass across the sky and they're moving all the time. So what it does, a normal Garmin product, an inReach or say a Zoleo product, is when you send and receive a message, it looks at that satellite, wakes up, finds the satellite, uses the satellite to send it to you, then goes back to sleep. And what actually happens if somebody sends you a message, you will not, more than likely not get it instantaneously, because often these devices just look for messages every 10 or 15 minutes or something along those lines. But with the Motorola, it's looking for satellites which is fixed in the sky. So if you're in the UK, we have sky dishes for our satellite television, exactly the same as that. It's a low orbit satellite, it's fixed in the sky at a certain point. So once it logs onto it, it's always logged onto it. Bit of a double-edged sword there. Positive thing is sending and receiving messages a lot quicker, but the negative thing we found over the last couple of weeks, I say we saw a lot of these devices, people are walking around going, oh, it's not connected to do this, it's not connected to do that, where traditionally with a two-way satellite communicator, it can often take a minute and a half to send these messages. People are very high expectations of this because they can see on the app when it's logged on and logged off of the actual satellites. But if you are in the UK, they are south. So again, if you are facing north or something like that and you're struggling to get it, it's a case of just turning around and you get a little vibration on the device to show that it's logged on. It's actually quite reassuring. I know when we started...
I was going to say, when we arrived here today, it's straight away when we switched it on, we were getting that vibration to say it found the satellite.
And if it loses the satellite, you also get that vibration as well. But today, we've been walking with quite some time now. It's not buzzed, has it? It's been logged on to that satellite.
It's fixed on.
So it's nicely fixed on. Along the beach we go.
On.
So just had our lunch on the north side of Holy Island, sat on the beach. It's just like sitting on the beach in Barbados, this, Jane, isn't it?
Not quite. It sounds like it.
A bit of a spot of rain there as well.
Yeah, not quite the temperature of Barbados.
So I thought what we'll do now is I'll show you quickly around the app. I'll do a screen grab of my phone and then overlay it, and you'll be able to see exactly, well, I'll just show you the basic features of the app. For that, sadly, I've got to pop my specs on and get the old iPhone up and running. So what I need to do is just start recording that screen, and you can see what I'm going to see. So the Bullitt app is on my homepage. I literally just press on the Bullitt app and it takes me into it. In the top right hand corner, you'll see there's these two green icons. If I tap on the two green icons, you can see both the Bluetooth connected, so it's connected to the Motorola Defy satellite link, and also satellite is connected as well. So 43% battery, you can see that top right hand corner. And on the device, it's got the green light showing that it's actually on the satellite. Down at the bottom, you can see satellite direction 165 degrees south. That's showing you where the satellite is in the sky. So we can just dismiss that. It's really basic. SOS, if you want to play an SOS from the app, this is how I would press it. I'm not going to, so I'm just going to come out of that. Messages is how you can send and receive messages. So what you do is literally just, you bring up the contacts on your phone, and then you can send that accordingly. So if I want to send one to my dear wife, Jane, there you are. I'm now going to send her a message. I literally type in the message down below. I can press the little green, the little geotag icon on the left hand side, which means that when she receives the message, it will actually show my location on it. So I can just type hi or something like that and send it, and then that's sending the message. So a little tick show is send, and in a few moments time, once it's been sent, it will actually show you either how it's been sent via the satellite or via the mobile phone network as well. While we're just waiting for that, we've also got check-in. So check-in messages are the same as we have on the unit. We've set up a check-in message. So again, at the moment, I've just got to send it to one person, and once send that person the check-in message, you can preset what that check-in message is. I can literally just press that, and that's now sending the preset messages as well. So that's how it works, really. Again, Andy's been messaged me quite a bit, so you can see all the locations here. If it goes via the satellites, we get this little orange slash across the corner to show it's gone via satellites without that. So that's the location there. So really, that's as straightforward. There's nothing else to really look at. There are other things as well. You can go to your account. When you click on your account, you do go online and you can look at your subscriptions, what you've got left, etc, etc. So it's really simple. It's very much like WhatsApp, you know, really simple messaging to do it. And yeah, that's the way the app is. So we're going to continue on our walk. We're going to go, it's called Emmanuel Head, I think it's somewhere in this distance, direction rather. So we're going to rucksack back on. Been hugely impressed with it so far. Again, I've now put it on the back of my rucksack. It's rattling around quite a bit on the front. It's actually been facing north because we've been walking south, and it's kept a satellite connection all the time. But hugely impressed with that. So onwards, and not really upwards, is it? It's heading round. Busy beach. Not seen a soul ever since we've arrived. Certainly not complaining
beautiful.
Though. Now, the other thing that we need to think about with this Motorola is battery life. This is where in some ways this product doesn't excel as well as the Garmin and the Zoleo. Garmin and Zoleo, as I've said, switch themselves on, look for satellites, send and receive messages, and then kind of go back into a sleepy state. And these units have got tens of days of battery life. Because the Motorola is always on and logged onto satellites, we've got 4 days of battery life. Anyway, that's what Motorola were saying, or Bullitt are the people who put this together. We've actually tested that because we've had it for a couple of weeks. We've tested that, and it is 4 periods of 24 hours, so it's 96 hours of battery life. Now that's summer in the UK, so it's not been that cold now. We've been hanging out on windows, etc., just to give it rather than keeping it indoors. But yeah, and that's sending and receiving messages as well. So we're getting that 4 days of battery life in there. Again, in cooler weather in winter, it'd be interesting to compare that. Again, if anybody's got any experiences of that, if they start using that device, yeah, please leave a comment in the comment box below. So it's great for that day walker, that 4 days of battery life. The other thing we need to think of with the Motorola is it's land-based at this moment in time. So again, we need to look at the coverage, satellite coverage map, again, because it's using these fixed orbit satellites, using different satellites in different areas of the world, and these are being rolled out across the world. But at this moment in time, there's no coverage offshore, so Atlantic, etc. Like if you're someone who's across the Atlantic, this product will not work for you. If you want someone, no, he sells quite a lot of these products, people on cruise ships and this kind of thing, it won't work for you. So again, have a look at the satellite coverage map, see where it works. It is rolled out over the year, over this current year, into more areas. It'll be interesting to see over time how that coverage is. So this is more aimed at that person who, in our case, walking in the UK, is that day walker. 4 days of battery life is still very, very good, and just wants to keep in touch with people really on an ad hoc basis. I think that's where it really meets that criteria. So we're just coming up to Emmanuel's monument, fantastic in the distance, and we'll catch up with you when we get there. So this is Emmanuel Point behind us, which is a day marker. So it's for ships to navigate offshore, and they can look onto land and locate exactly where they are. This is actually one of the earliest ones that was built in this country, built 1801 to 1815. And I was actually thought what maybe potentially is the first one ever built. A couple of benches sat around, Jen. You've been researching one of them, haven't you?
I can't resist it, yeah. Whenever I see benches laid in memory of somebody, but there's one on one side that's inscribed in German. So I've just done a quick translation of it. And it says that the person that it's left to, it just says, "I was always happy and content here," which I think is quite moving, quite fitting. I have just said to John, would he like one on this side? to be let in, and he did say no.
If anybody comes to Holy Island, this is right at the top, so most people who come to Holy Island just go to the castle and the priory and everything, which is just south of where we are. This is Emmanuel Point, so there's Northerly Point, and we kind of been walking along the north coast we have to date, haven't we?
Stunning, isn't it?
Yeah, so get away, if you ever come here, get away from the crowds, come north, just walk on the paths. You can't really get lost, it's an island, it's not massive, and get away from the crowds, come to somewhere like this, look, there's no one here. And it's July.
I mean, there's beautiful sandy beaches and bays. There's ruins if you're interested in that sort of thing, on the nature reserve. There's so much over here, and we've seen one person in the distance all day. There's just nobody here at all.
Who's wearing a blue jacket and we're wearing red.
Yeah,
there you are. Okay, so we're gonna head back down into the town, I think, and skirt back around. I don't know, we might miss the town. We'll see what happens. Or we might go for a cup of coffee.
We might be sociable. We'll see.
Cheers. So we're back to where it all began. The causeway's open. We can see the cars. Oh, there's some cars there. There's no cars going past. The cars are starting to come back on, so the causeway's back open. We're back to our car. For a lovely 6 mile walk. We thought we were only going to do 2 or 3 miles. We're doing 6 miles.
Got carried away with ourselves.
I hope you very much enjoyed this latest walk and talk. If you've got any questions about the Motorola Defy satellite link, please just leave a comment in the comment box below. And if you can subscribe on YouTube, that is also very much appreciated. If we can help you in any way here at GPS Training, please don't hesitate to get in touch. And we're now going to a nice little hotel for the night, aren't we?
Yeah.
For some, I don't know, nice food and wine, I suspect, this evening.
We deserve it.
So whatever you do, I hope you enjoy yourself. Be safe out there, and many thanks for watching.